Hey everyone, I hope you're enjoying your quarantine vacation and also being all the most very productive while we are having this holidays. And I'm here on the rooftop and see the amazing sunset that I'm enjoying. I think it's very nice. Well, anyway, my hair may look different because my mom cut it today because it was overgrowing. Well, anyway, welcome back to the channel. My name is Anuj, I'm your host, and today I'm going to tell you something amazing which I think every one of you already knows, but I'm just going to put words into it. Okay, let's go. So, let's rewind 2 years back when we were all preparing for NEET, and what we did for studying biology is basically, if you now look into it, is first of all we read it through the point of view of a student, and then later we read it through the point of view of the examiner. What I mean by that is, the first time you were reading it you really wanted to understand all the concepts, and the second time you were reading it you wanted to be a little more practical and understand what questions can come out of the concepts. Okay, but at the end, the second technique, looking at it through the ways of the examiner, helped much more than the first one, because once you knew what questions could be asked from a particular chapter, you could have easily mastered that, and hence you are sitting now in a medical college. Using the same technique, we memorized the entire books of biology, NCERT, volume 1 and volume 2, and a lot many different subjects before that. For example, in 10th standard we had a ton of subjects which had a lot of theory, and what we essentially did was converted all of that theory into a practical based thing, and that was making questions out of it. So the thing that I'll be talking about today basically revolves around making questions a lot, because that is the only way where you can actually know the contents in and out very well, and hence be thorough with it. It actually helps you in 2 or 3 ways. First of all, you will get a thorough review of whatever the questions that can be asked. Secondly, you will get a very big upper hand in vivas, because it may happen that you made a question and the same question is being asked to you by the examiner which is coming. And more or less, it is the only way which is, I think, superior than note taking, which will actually help you achieve something. Because if you are taking notes, then basically you are just having a passive reading once you have taken them. But if you write the questions without the answers, when you're looking at the question, your mind is trying to figure out what the answer is, and that is taking a teeny bit better effort than just passively reading it. Now, this some of you may not like, because without the answers, how can one know whether they are answering the right question or not? But I think all of us deep down have a feeling that whether our answer is correct or not. So if we even have a teeny bit of doubt in our minds, confirming it with whatever is in the book is, I think, the best way to go. So how do we do it? Basically, I do it for myself all the time since first year, I guess, and even before that, like I talked. So how do we do it, and what does it encompass, and how many questions do we need to make? So let's go over it point wise. First things first, you need to select a topic and first of all read it thoroughly, and then only you will understand whatever it is given in it, and only then will you be able to frame the questions properly. Now, once you have read the topic thoroughly, what you usually do is you take your notes from those topic and reread the notes again and again and again. That is just passive, that's not gonna yield you as much as this concept is. Now, the second time you sit down to read anything, what I do is, from a particular big chapter, for example, take hepatic pathology. From hepatic pathology, different subtopics are there, like hepatic failure, cholangitis, cholelithiasis, and hepatitis. So all of this, what we can do is, from each of these subtopics we can make a question out of every single important point that we feel is present. What this will do is, the next time you're going to be looking at the questions that you made, you will not only just look at all the important points that are there. For example, if you are doing hepatic failure, then associated with hepatic failure we will also have hepatopulmonary syndrome, hepatorenal syndrome. If you are doing intrahepatic biliary lithiasis, then you can have primary sclerosing cholangitis and all of that stuff. So basically, it will give you a form of notes in which notes are incomplete and you have to fill up the gaps. And each subtopic has been divided into a set of questions. Now I'm saying this repeatedly, but it just doesn't stop there. You have to decide which questions, which topics actually get the better amount of questions and which topics don't. For example, if you're reading hepatic failure, that should get more questions than if you're reading something small like hepatitis E. And hence, my point here is you need to classify and categorize whatever the material that you are studying into the grades of importance. And like I always say, that first of all, study the important things and then dive on over to the less important things. But that rule just completely flattens out because we are staying home and we have basically 24 hours to be productive, minus 6 hours which you sleep. 6 or 8 hours people might be sleeping nowadays. Anyway, another thing is that try to, if you feel like this is an MCQ genic point, that means a lot of MCQs can be formed from this point itself. For example, let's say hepatitis viruses, like I talked about the last time. You can formulate tons of questions from them, and wherever you see the opportunity that you can form a question, just go about and form it. This will not only help you in your university examinations, because you, like I told you, Viva, it will be spot on, but it will also help you in any kind of MCQ exam that you are appearing. For example, if you are in the third year, then the first step of USMLE will be right there. So it will not only help you here but also here. And now that you have done all of those questions, second point is that you need to revise it a lot of time. Coming back to the NEET analogy, we used to revise a lot of stuff and hence we scored well. The same thing applies here, the exact same thing applies here. You are writing questions, well and good, you need to revise them on a daily basis. I tell you, it's going to be hard on the very next day. It is going to be even harder 1 week past, but if you do it regularly, you will have all the things pinpointed in your mind and you will have entire books memorized before you even know it. And the reason why most of us in first year don't remember the subjects very well until we are in our final years preparing for any entrance examinations is because when we entered first year, we did not actually have this mindset that we have always had. For example, we have the same mindset to study anything since 8th or 9th, that we have to formulate the chapter into questions, learn those questions, understand them, and hence you will know the entire chapter. Once we enter first year, it's more like a big change and big shift of energy in our lives, and hence we skip over that. And like what I said, from second year obviously you can explore all the possibilities that there are, and I suggest you write as many questions as you can, revise them as quickly as you can. Let's see. So first of all, what I do, I sit down and I open Google Docs, because that way all the things that I write is going to be integrated in all of my devices, my laptop, my computer, and my phone and my iPad. So Google Docs I prefer, along with it's a free resource and it's Google. Second of all, I prefer to type rather than to write, obviously. And because there's also a thing you can do, if you are not knowing the particular question repeatedly, you can color grade it. You can grade it into a red color, so that indicates that you don't know the answer to that very well. And there's a lot of stuff that digitally we can do, but physically we cannot, and hence the thing. Also, there's a feature in my iPad. If you select a word, you can actually pinpoint a note to it. That means that if there is a particular question and I think that I will possibly forget it in the future, instead of just writing the answer right there, what I can do is just select the keyword and then add a note to it, which will only be visible once I tap on the keyword. So Google Docs is what I use. You can do it on anything. You don't really need anything. We all have smartphones. You can do it on a smartphone or any piece of technology you have, but do it. It's amazing, and it's very, very evidence based, and we all have been practicing it, just we don't put a name to it and give words to it. So the point of making this video is just while you're stuck at home, mix up all your study strategies, intercalate them with different things. Oh, there are beautiful birds here, and I think you won't get really bored. So that was that. Anyways, the sun is now setting down. So again, I hope you are all enjoying this vacation while also being safe. The only place to be very safe is your home, so don't go around anywhere. Just enjoy the little things like I am doing like now, like the sunsets, the clouds, the birds, and whatnot. And just gonna request you, if you like this video, if it added some value to your life, kindly hit the subscribe button and the like button. It really gives me a lot of motivation to produce these videos, since it is also a part of my time. But anyways, much love to all of you. Stay safe, stay happy. Until next time, see you soon.